Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the Architects Act 1972 in this video. The Architects Act deal with the registration of architects and it related matters. The Council of Architecture was formed by the Government of India by using this act in 1972 in the Parliament of India. The act which is coming to force on 1st September 1972. The main duties and responsibilities of this act is to regulate the architecture education and to regulate the architecture profession in our country. The major areas of activities of the council includes the registration of architects and standard of education and practice, etc. This act contains 4 chapters. The chapter 1 deals with the definition and terminologies, and the chapter 2 deals with the council members and their qualifications, powers, etc. The chapter 3 deals with the registration of architects, and the chapter 4 deal with the other data. First we'll discuss about the chapter 1. First one is the definition. First one is the architect. Architect means the person whose name is entered in the register. Then council. Council means the Council of Architecture. And IIA. IIA means Indian Institute of Architects, register under Societies Registration Act 1860. So like that there are so many definitions and terminologies given in the chapter 1. You can also refer in detail. Then we will go for the chapter 2 deals with the council members. There are 8 category of people who are called council members. The first category is 5 architects from IIA, that is Indian Institute of Architects. 5 people, they are recognized position in the IIA. And next category is 2 persons from AICTE. The next one is 5 persons from institutional heads, that is universities. And next category, the chief architect from the Ministry of Central Government. And next category, 1 architect who is directly nominated by the central government. And the next one is 1 architect from each state directly nominated by the state government. And the next one is 2 persons from Institute of Engineer, and the final one is 2 persons from the Institute of Surveyors. All these above people are called council member, and they can elect the president and the vice president of the council. So the president shall have hold their office for 3 years, and if any disputes arises in the election, this matter forwarded to the tribunal court, which is directly appointed by the central government. The conducting of meetings. Now we will discuss about the conducting of meetings of the council member shall have at least 1 meeting at every 6 months to carry out their necessary function. In case all the members are not present, at least 9 members has to present, and they have to create a forum, and they take the decision based on the majority. Now the council also have the power to appoint the register, and the council have the power to appoint the office member to carry out their day-to-day functions, and also they have power to create the executive committee. The vice president and the president shall also act as the chairman and vice chairman for the executive committee. The executive committee formed by the council mainly to carry out the functions of act. This is mainly to monitor and inspect the institution, to check the facilities and send report to the council. This is to regulate the education in our country. The next chapter we will discuss about the council funds. The council funds mainly come from 2 sources. The first one is the fund which is come from the central government through gift, donation and direct deposit. The next source is the fund which is come from the act. That means the funds which is received through registration fees, renewal fees, fine, and the fees which is collected from the institution. The next chapter is 3. We'll discuss about the registration of architect. The register which contain the full data of the architect, that is professional data of the architect, and also the chapter tells clearly about the registration date, the starting date, and the final last date for the renewal fees and the fine detail, everything. This chapter also talks about the removal of architect's name from the register in case the architect does not want to continue in COA. If he give a request letter to COA, then his name will be removed from the register, or in case of the person who has died, in such case the name will be removed from the register, or in case the council entered the name incorrectly by mistake, that kind of time also the name will be removed from the register, or in case the architect does not follow the council norms or ethics or professional misconduct. So that kind of activity found by COA, then the architect name will be removed from the register. These are all the details which you can find in the chapter 3. Then the chapter 4 deal with the additional powers to the council members. They have additional powers to deal with the property related matter to the council, and also they have additional powers to make regulation in the educational norms, syllabus, and conducting practical examination, conducting competitions, etc. And also they have power to power to change the powers of president and vice president of the council to carry out their important functions of the Council of Architecture. Then the last schedule has schedule list which contain the approved universities and institutions in India and other countries. Now we are going to discuss about the arbitration. Arbitration is a process in which a dispute is submitted by the two parties, and the decision or resolution will be taken by the third person from outside to resolve the dispute, or resolution to the dispute by the third person. Example, take A and B. A is an architect and B is the client. Suppose A was not submitted the design on time to B, so B has stopped the fees that has to be paid to A. So B has reduced the fees and stating that he was not able to start the construction on time, and also he has faced some financial problem because of the delay. But A argues he need the full payment as per the agreement, and also A stating that he has submitted already many number of schemes and different options, but still B want another option, that is an extra option which is not discussed in the agreement. So A want the full fees. So this is the situation. Now A and B both, they want to go for a court for the justice, but in court already there are many cases. Just imagine, everyone want to go for court for justice, but already there are lakhs of pending cases is pending in the court. There are some drawbacks which you go for a court. We'll see one by one. The first one is long queue for justice. We have to wait. Then lakhs of pending cases or still, and strict procedures, and more evidence is required to get the final decision, and delay in justice. And the entire judicial process in the court is time consuming, costly, time and delay, energy consuming, money and stress. And also the entire burden of the judicial system is fully depending on the courts. Lot of business decision and may not be taken because of some pending commercial dispute. Actually this is this impact the growth of the economy of the country. And also many cases are still pending, like partnership cases, civil cases, architecture related cases, construction related, insurance related, and time barred debates. So time barred debates is nothing but it's a non-payment of bill for a very long years. Also it is legally difficult to collect the amount because of it is already crossed many number of years. So this kind of cases is called time barred debates. You can also refer the Indian Limitation Act to more about the time barred debate cases. So all this kind of cases are related to business cases, all business related cases. So we need a quick resolution, and we need a economical, we need to save time, and we need simple procedure for the solution. So we need a alternate dispute resolution, ADR. So it is quick and economical and flexibility. So there is a 4 method comes under ADR. The first one is negotiation. Negotiation is a method used to solve a dispute by discussing and negotiating with the help of the third person. The next one is mediation. Mediation is also the method to solve the dispute with the help of the mediator. He will collect the information and statements, and he also analyzing the evidence, everything, and finally he will advise the parties. And the next one is arbitration. Again, it is a process to solve the dispute between two parties, and the decision will be binding the two parties. The next one is conciliation. Conciliation is similar to mediation and arbitration, but here the third person have much more active than mediation and arbitration. Okay. The next topic we will discuss. There is a dispute between the A and B, and they need a resolution. So they plan to appoint a third person. They are appointing an arbitrator. So what is the quality, the types of arbitrator? We have two kind of arbitrator. One is called the sole arbitrator, and another one is panel of arbitrator. Sole arbitrator is a single person, and the panel of arbitrator is the group of people, persons. This is also called as arbitral tribunal. Normally this kind of arbitral tribunal will be appointed by the court. Next we will see about the quality of arbitrator. The quality of arbitrator is he shall give his consent to act as an arbitrator, and the arbitrator must be disinterested and impartial, and his decision is binding both A and B, and the arbitrator should not have any connection with A or B or their employees or their suppliers or their relatives, etc. And the procedure, we will discuss about the procedure. First thing is the dispute which is introduced to the arbitrator, and he will got the information and the points of issue, and he will analyze the evidence and the arguments and resolution, and finally he will make the decision. This final decision is called arbitral award. The arbitral award has 4 parts: introduction, analyzing, and evidence and conclusion, final award. It has a 4 part, and there are some important thing you should know about the arbitral award. The arbitral award should be in writing. It should not be in oral. It should be in writing, and the arbitral award should be dated and should be made on stamp paper, not in white paper. And the arbitral award should be signed by the members of tribunal, and it contains the reasons, and it also contains the evidences and conclusion and the place of arbitration. These are all the important things has to be mentioned in the arbitral award. And one more thing important is arbitration is not allowed for tax matter, industrial, trust related matters, guardian matters, matrimonial and criminal matters. These kind of cases which is not comes under arbitration. You can also refer the Indian Council of Arbitration, and also you can refer the Indian Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996 for more details.